everyone, welcome again to Chat with Olajumoke. It's always a pleasure having you join me. Remember, Chat with Olajumoke is a place where we talk about all things better living. Right. So on this episode, I'm going to be sharing with us how I was able to break down fear to my kids. And after breaking it down, I discovered that I learned a lot of things, and I thought, okay, why not bring it to the chat room family so that we all can learn something from it. Right. So we all know that fear has torment. So fear has a way of terrorizing you. It has a grip over you. You won't be able to do what you want to do. You see yourself that you're not good enough to do that thing you want to do. You see yourself that, no, never, I cannot achieve it. No, I cannot do this. And that's what fear does for you once it has a grip and dominion over you. Right. So I told them that fear fear is a monster, right? I told them that fear is a monster. So let's all picture a monster. A monster is like an ugly thing, big, ugly looking thing, right? And so the monster always has to eat something to remain there, to remain alive. And so that monster eats or feeds on your fear. So every time you are afraid of something, the monster gets bigger. The monster is feeding on your fear, and so every time you're afraid of something, the monster gets bigger. This is how I was illustrating it to them, and I was illustrating it to them, and I was actually seeing sense in what I was saying, right? So every time you are afraid of something, the monster gets bigger, fear gets bigger, right? So there are different there are different types of fears. You have fear of heights, you have fear of water, you have some people that are afraid of being alone in a place, some people are afraid of darkness. There are different kinds of fear, all over the place. But there are also the fears of, okay, what are people going to think about me? What is my future going to be like? Am I sure I'm going to be able to achieve this thing, and all of that? So there are different kinds of fear. Now, the only way to overcome fear is not to feed the monster fear. Remember, I said that whenever you are afraid, the monster feeds on your fear. So the only way to overcome is to do that thing that you're afraid of. Do that thing that you're afraid of. Now, fear comes in different ways for different people. For some people, they have sweaty palms. For some people, their heart starts beating faster. For some people, they go to the toilet so often. For some people, they just sit down numb in a place. And, fear manifests itself in different places. For some people, they can't even do anything at all. And so fear manifests in people in different ways. But how would you allow fear to have dominion over you when you can actually not feed that fear? The only way to do that is to do that thing that you are afraid of. I'm not saying that you should just go overnight now and go and do that thing that you're afraid of, but take little steps. Be bold about it. So it happens to me, right? So I want to do something. I have something I want to do probably maybe next week or so, and I'm afraid, okay, how am I going to do it? How is it going to take place? How is it going to look like? How would this thing be a success? Will I have people that will even come out for it? Will I have people that will even buy that product? Will I have, and so my mind is all over the place, and I'm thinking. But then, what happens is that I just say, just do it. What's the worst that can happen? The worst that can happen is, okay, maybe they don't turn up, or maybe one person shows up, or maybe some people don't buy, depending on my fear at that moment. But then I face that fear. I do it afraid. And so I was telling someone was telling me at one point that anytime she sees me, that she's always looking at, this woman is so bold, she's so this, she's so that. And I said, if you know what I've gone through before actually doing that thing, you will know that it's not that I'm actually bold. But then I had to step on my fear and then go and do it. And so all of us have fears. We all have. As a matter of fact, at every point in our lives, there will be one fear that you're going to face, one fear or the other that you're going to face. But don't let that monster feed on your fear. Once the monster sees that you are afraid, it becomes bigger and it takes dominion over you. It takes a grip over you. It has a hold over you. And so that thing that you're afraid, do it afraid. Do it. What's the worst that can happen? Just think about the worst that can happen and then do it afraid. And I shared it with them, and they looked at me and said, yes, this makes sense. So they are going to do whatever it is that they are going to do it afraid. And at the end of the day, you will discover that you have dominion over that fear. Remember, the Bible says, I have not given you the spirit of fear, but of sound mind. You have a sound mind. Face your fear. You don't have to face the big fear. You can do it one step at a time. Have somebody to hold your hand, to encourage you to do it, and you will discover that you're going to step on your fear. And so as you go this week, remember that that fear is a monster. Don't allow it feed on your fear, or else it will get bigger and it will take dominion over you. I hope this episode has been able to help someone. Thanks for always being a part of Chatting with Olajumoke. Till I see you again next time, don't forget to keep keeping it real. Bye-bye.